Welcome to the Tomb of Illumination. This quick video today in regards to something that came through dreams last night, which is really buzzy to me, so I'm thinking you might find it buzzy too. I've recently done a video trying to describe how Venus works in our flat Earth system, right? And I think I got it sussed pretty well. But anyway, I normally just do a video and move on. I don't retain information very well. So anyway, but you know, you've heard about sun gazing, right? I haven't done it for a while, and I was feeling as though I'd lost touch, you know, and with a certain feeling within here, and went out for a walk yesterday and decided to look up at the sun for a short period. It was overcast, so I could do it at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon because it was overcast before it completely disappeared behind a cloud. Anyway, so I did that yesterday, and last night I wake up with something in my mind. It didn't trigger anything at the time. And I've been waking up in the middle of the night quite a bit lately, due to heat or something, I don't know. Anyway, and I stay awake, I can't get back to sleep, so I just pick up the phone and start checking on comments and stuff. And there's this comment, I'll just find that comment. Just bear with me for a sec. Got plenty of comments there now. So go back to the middle of the night. Go to the first one. This is from a subscriber called the what does he call himself? The Plain Truth. Check out his channel. He's got some good stuff. What you got here? The book author was How Woke. Not that one. This one maybe. Return of Christ Bible has an element of judgment against rebellion, sons of God. Not that one. Maybe this one. What book author was that? How woke does it? It's not either. Well, no, never mind. Well, it can't. Whatever the comment was, whatever the question was associated with this dream, and it triggered my mind and brought me back to the dream. And the dream was that Venus does 13 cycles. So after seeing his message and replying to him, I then started thinking, what the heck? What's this 13 cycles? So I had no idea. So I punch into the Mr. Google here. Does Venus have 13 cycles? And blow me down. This is what it says. This is known as the 8-year cycle of Venus, and stems from the fact that 13 Venetian orbits, 13 times 224.8 days, very nearly equals 8 Earth years. As a matter of fact, the cycle was known to and of great interest to the ancient people such as the Maya. All my work's on ancient people, philosophy and everything. Somebody's talking to me. So then I go and push it, and what does it tell me? This is what it says. Well, it shows you, it's got a picture of the cycles, like that, right? Now you can't trace these cycles out. See, everything does a cardioid pattern due to the S-curve, 3D S-curve within the vortex. Down and then back up and out. You can't trace one of those to be a cardioid, but you can see the overall cardioid patterns, right? Because it's always moving in and out. So, to show that, then I'll read this. What is the pentagram or petals of Venus? So we're talking about pentagram. So we're going back into geometry here, because this is the secret. This is metaphysics. That the geometry has been kicked out of the garden. We cannot see the geometry involved with the situation. It's metaphysical. It's described or talked about a lot in ancient philosophy, because they are the people that knew, understood everything. Cause they've gained their souls. They can receive higher information. They understand more stuff than the mere mortal. I call them common men, but they call them mere mortals. Because once you've gained your soul, you're immortal. That's another story, but anyway. When plotted geocentrically over the flat Earth, from an Earth-centered perspective, there is a highly noticeable rhythm in the motion of Venus. After 8 years, it returns to the same place in our sky on about the same date. This is known as the 8-year cycle of Venus, and stems from the fact that 13 Venetian orbits, 13 times 224.8 days, very nearly equals 8 Earth years. As a matter of fact, the cycle was known to and of great interest to the ancient people such as the Maya. Today, many know it as the pentagram or petals of Venus. The word pentagram or five-sided figure is because over the 8 years, each phenomenon, each relative position of Earth, Venus and the Sun occurs 5 times. Then over the next 8 years, they repeat 5 times almost identically. For Venus, the tight inward loops on the diagram above and animation below are the planet's inferior conjunctions, in which Venus passes between us and the Sun. And the wide swings are centered on the superior conjunctions when Venus passes around the far side of the Sun from us. So the general pattern is, as Anthony Barrero commented, a lovely 5-petaled rose. So the tight loops are the stamens of the rose, and the wide swings are the petals. Visualizing the petals of Venus. Below is an animation showing the same thing, the orbit of Venus from an Earth-centered perspective. The smaller pale yellow dot is Venus, and the large yellow ball is the Sun. So we have that there. But that's not right. Everybody's been fooled. That just showed you Venus is quicker than the Sun. It is not. Now check out my earlier videos about the pace of the Sun and the stars. The Sun is quickest. It's on the inside track. So this takes me to. So also last night, the dream, it came to me in the morning, or it just came into my mind, a very easy explanation as to show how and why the Sun is quicker than the other planets and stars. I thought, wow, that's worth a Facebook post. But then when I start a post, it starts bringing in all sorts of other stuff. And the problem is, 2.5 hours later, I get down into the bottom of the post, I've forgotten that simple explanation. But it all boils back to ratios. It was about ratios. Ancient philosophers talk about the ratios. It's basically ratios which morphs into mathematics. So what I'll do is I'll read the post. So I never got to finish it completely. But you have to, if you're thinkers, you've got to think ratios, because the sun is on the inside track. This is how we see it as man. The sun is not on the inside, we are on the inside. So we are like the son of man, the sun. We are the sun. So we've got Venus first, all the way out, or Mercury first, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn on the outside here. And the sun is always at the top, he's the king. He's the Christ. It's still pure white light, because we have to see through the light spectrum, which is through this firmament, to see the bright white light. He's the king, he's always at the top. This is telling us we have to ascend to this bright light. But as individuals, I think this is telling us we've got the soul, we've got the sun, but it's not activated or something, and we've got to ascend or something. But this is the way it is. It's hard to explain why the sun is not down here, because this is the blue shift, all the energy where you'd expect the sun to be. But that's not how it works. So, ratios, you've got to work out, well, Venus does this, right? And you think it has to go all the way over here. So that's not helping the situation either. But the sun is on the inside track back here at creation. This is so hard to explain. Like in philosophy it tells you. And there's phrases I can use, but it's going to be another book. I'll read the post. What have we got? So, this was going to be quite profound, if I'd remembered what I was going to write. So, this is one of the most profound statements, conclusions or answers ever told regarding cosmology or physics. It is worthy of a Nobel Prize, but they are only given to childlike thinkers, parrots and sheep. Because most of these Nobel Prize in physics, it's all BS. Oh, I found a star, they get a Nobel Prize. They think this and think that, they get Nobel Prizes, but they've got it all wrong. The whole Bohr model is wrong. So listen up. In ancient philosophy, they wrote about ratios, which came under mathematics, and they made a lot of references to the semicircle. Well, the ancient Egyptians wrote of man's arc of horizon, also a hemisphere or semicircle, being a 180 degree dome of perspective. Horizon in brackets. Now if you take the dome or arc and divide it up like a rainbow, we have tracks. These are individual tracks, inert, in brackets, that are home to the 7 wandering stars. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn and the King/Sun at the top, while the full moon sits at the bottom below Mercury. Realise the moon is not inert and can pass across all the wandering stars to meet up with the sun on each new moon. Now place yourself as the human observer under the arc on the flat plane 90 degrees to zenith. This is how we observe the world around us. Now imagine you are at your position of 90 degrees to zenith at all times, no matter where you move. It moves with you, okay? And let's say a celestial body is fixed on the night sky in your arc of horizon. Something's fixed here, and you decide to run off somewhere. So if the arc moves with the observer, with you, man's arc of horizon, then that fixed star will appear to come down on your arc on the opposite side to which you are running. Your ark only projects out from you so far. God said, you can characterize God whichever way you want, but God said the earth is fixed and stationary, not the firmament. He didn't mention the firmament, which is your ark, which sticks firm to you. This is why there's a phrase that says, rise up, Daniel, you will see further. Because as he rises up, the ark rises up with him. Doesn't mean you're really dumb and you don't know if you climbed a mountain you'd see further. No, it's deeper than that. But people don't think beyond the simple stuff. But this firmament, which sticks with you. But the stars are moving all the time, so they do not stay fixed in your firmament. They are seen through your ark perpendicular to it. Always 90 degrees back to you, all equal distance all the way over. They are seen through your ark perpendicular to it. So if you drew a line from you to one of the moving bodies, they will always be 90 degrees off the ark. See? Perpendicular to you is always 90 degrees off the ark, isn't it? This is why your stupid science has to tell us the sun's rays come straight to hit the ball earth. Anyone with at least half a brain can see that doesn't work. Unless you've got one ray. The sun has many rays. Well, they're not parallel, are they? They're not going to be all 90 degrees to the arc, are they? It's just pure rubbish. Anyone with it... Yeah, okay. So, what I have stated above is true and cannot be debunked. Earth is fixed and stationary while the sky above you is seen to roll over your dome / arc of horizon. Obviously, if you remain stationary, the celestial bodies still move over your arc of horizon because they are projected images from another state. In brackets, a word used in ancient philosophy. The other state is the original state. It is the place of creation. It is the parent of our created state. We are secondary, expressed from the place of singularity into a dual system. The place of singularity is the central vortex of creation, Hades. Going down into Hades, going down into the vortex. Because you go through the Milky Way and then down into the vortex. The creator of our earthly realm, which is an enclosed torus field. A torus field is a magnetic field. With a big... But don't get hung up on that if you do not understand the dielectric field, which is also not taught in the story of creation. Anyway, back to my initial reason for the post. Ratios. The original ratios came about from our arc of horizon. E.g., what is the ratio between the inner arc of, say, Venus to the motion of the Sun on the outer arc, seen from your perspective, relative to the observer? Sound familiar? Relativity. That's where Einstein tried to screw all this over, to confuse you all, keep you away from reality. Realize you are the center of your universe, or the center of the clock. All the celestial bodies move over your arc, projected or seen by you, perpendicular to your arc at an equal distance at all times. They are all moving over you. The earth doesn't roll under you. A big laughing face. Now, understand the arc represents the ecliptic plane. Why or how is another long story, never taught. I'm not going to go into that right now. So here's the guts of the post. Why can people not comprehend that the sun is quicker than the stars when they are told that the sun takes 24 hours to return when the stars only take 23.6 hours? This is what confuses people, you see. The stars only take 23.6 hours, then it must be quicker than the sun. But they're not looking at They're not, it's up here. I tried to explain it. But anyway, then I forgot the easy explanation. So I finished the post with, okay, this post ended up way too long and now I have forgotten the simple explanation. Like a clear dream vanishing in the morning. I better go and have breakfast and try to remember back soon. So I'm still trying to put my head around it. I've been busy all day though. So it's imagining, well that's a bit, yeah, well it's about ratios, if you understand the ratio here. So the sun is on the inside track of the race course. There's no way it's going to lose against these planets, planets they call them, out here. Because remember, they're all coming from one vortex, one rotation, there's only one speed, but it's ratios within the vortex. How can the sun lose? Think about it. Go vortex some water. What's it? Then the centre hole's going like this, isn't it? The outside is going around like this. It's all one pace, just like a clock. The inner centre of the clock, you've got the arm going around. But it's all the same time, isn't it? From here to there, it's the same time. So, this video is just about the buzzy dreams I just had. And I'm thinking it's due to the sun gazing I did that day, yesterday. So, that's it guys, that's all I wanted to say. I thought it was buzzy. Hope you did.